What is going on, you guys? Bastion Wajo here, and I think I figured it out. The best way to play the Runicks with the Spright. So the Runick Spright variant is not dead. I know that it lost quite a bit because I think this was the deck. This was the version of Spright that was affected most by a Runetoden getting hit, because Runetoden's recursion and ability to always give you a follow-up with that was so reliant on being able to maintain the board, just because you're constantly having to get rid of your battle phase, things like that, with the Runick cards, unfortunately. But being able to recur back to totally awesome, being able to set up bigger and bigger boards with by abusing Runetoden was a really big way that the deck really got the juices flowing. But I think I figured out the best way to go ahead and play Runicks, and we're not playing any frogs, we're not playing any totally awesomes, we're not playing, obviously Runetoden is now banned, but this is definitely going to be the best way to go ahead and play it. I've been play testing a little bit, doing test hands as well as different combos, things like that, and I'll show you guys a quick combo at the end of the video, just so you guys have that as well. But I definitely want to go ahead and bring these to you guys ASAP, just because I know there's a lot of you people looking. There's a lot of you guys that are out now, currently looking for a new way to play this. So this is definitely going to be at least my favorite new way, and what I'll be doing moving forward. So without further ado, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and let's get right into the deck profile. Alright guys, start off with the monsters, nothing too crazy. We're gonna go ahead and play the standard Spright package, 3 blue, 3 jet, pixies red, and carrots. All of these are very important for their own individual things. Of course, blue, search monsters, the jet spells, searches spells traps, which traps is going to be coming up. I don't think if it's Darkwing Blast, might be the next set, but it's going to be coming up here shortly for us. And then, of course, pixies red and carrot, each for their own individual thing. I might be taking out carrot in the near future. I mean, I like carrot, don't get me wrong, but there is another card I've been experimenting with, so I might be. I'll tell you guys in just a second. But next, play 3 copies of Nimble Beaver. So the reason why I like Nimble Beaver is because essentially with Nimble Beaver you're able to special summon from your deck or graveyard. So in the event something goes awry or whatever might have you. So that's why I really tend to prefer more the Nimble Beaver package currently. Just because you need as many monsters on board, and Swap Frog just sending itself to the graveyard, you have to then use resources to activate the Spright Elf effect, then bring another one back. It's just you're using a lot of, you're not going to have enough on the board, so I just want to have as much gas to go on the board. Now I actually really like just Nimble Beaver. Nimble Angler is something that you can still play, don't get me wrong, but I think just with this specific build, I think with 3 Nimble Beaver, you're going to be good to go from there. To set up your big boy plays with the Spice card of the format, which is going to be Gale Dogra. So Gale Dogra, or Gale Dogra, however you guys want to say it, is a busted Yu-Gi-Oh card that says you can pay 3,000 life points to discard 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. That's probably incorrect wording in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but basically what it says, you pay 3,000 life points and you send 1 monster from your extra deck to then the graveyard. So what you're going to be sending, I'll get to it in just a little bit, but you guys might have already seen it in the thumbnail for the video. So that's going to be it for the engine cards. Now for the hand traps, we play 3 Ash and 3 Crow. That's really all it is for now. So I'm not really fearful of anything getting banished from the graveyard currently. So that's why I chose to opt out of playing Bell and wanted to go ahead and play Crow. Just because I think Crow obviously like I've said a million times before, is the best hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh, but just is with the overall, I guess not downfall, but for lack of a better word, with the decrease in popularity for decks like Spright, I think Tier Element will still go up. So just being able to go ahead and banish whatever they have in their graveyard, being able to banish their Kit Kalos or their Rhino Heart or their what's it called, Kaleido Hearts, when they're sent to the graveyard. So just being able to go ahead and get rid of any nonsense they might have in the graveyard is really good. And that's gonna be it for the monsters, guys. Not a very heavy monster lineup. A quick recap for you guys. We play the Sprites package, the Nimble package. With no Angler, we get to play the Gale Dogra, and then these 6 hand traps. Of course, in the side deck, I do play a lot more hand traps because, yes, it is necessary to side them, but I don't think in the main board it's really going to be all that necessary. So, without further ado, let's get right into the spells. Alright guys, so for the spells, it's really nothing too complicated. 3 starter, 1 smasher, 1 fountain. 3 tip, 3 flashing fire, 3 freezing chain, 3 destruction, and I also play 3 copies of Runick Slumber. So why would I play Runick Slumber? So like I said before, Runick's ability to play with cards like Ronin Totem Totally Awesome was really because you could bring back that same board and then go ahead and rebuild it. And if it get broken, just go ahead and rebuild it once again. Without the recursion of Ronin Totem, it's become a lot more difficult to do so. So like I said before, you are going to want to play a lot of gas in this deck. And playing Runick Slumber not only gives your whatever monster you have, most likely Sprite Elf, protection from your opponent's destruction, but it also gives you an additional Runick name, which gives you a higher chance of drawing a Runick name into your hand, which gives us then more access to additional extenders in Hugin, the level 2 Fusion Runick, or it also gives us more fodder for our Runick Fountain to get additional draws on our turn or our opponent's turn as well. So just maximizing out on all of the high impact Runick cards, I think is for the best. I potentially would play something like the other Runick card that says that whenever your opponent adds a card to the hand, banish a card from their hand and then 2 from the top of their deck, which is kind of cool. But again, I just want to have Runick Slumber in here just because it gives us that additional, it buys us a turn, essentially is what I'm trying to get at. So that's going to be it for the spells, guys. Now for the traps, no crazy intro. We play 1 copy of Shaddoll Schism. So this is the card that we are trying to search out with Gale Dogger. So Gale Dogger is actually going to go ahead and send out the Shaddoll App Clone from our extra deck, and then App Clone is going to search us the Schism, which is going to give us access to a free window on our opponent's turn. So that's going to be the main way to go ahead and play this. I think being able to set up a huge board, a few negations here and there, but being able to back it up with a window, I just think is huge, because essentially window is a card that demands immediate attention, and essentially if you have 1 or 2 negates, that should be enough to go ahead and blow out your opponent. So that's essentially why I want to go ahead and play this. Also, it helps kind of play around Dark Ruler No More, where they can't be the first thing they go ahead and activate, because they need to wait until I flip the Schism before they activate the Dark Ruler No More, or else it's really not going to matter. So that's another thing I really like about having this, is that it puts all of the pressure on your opponent to out this ASAP, or else they won't be able to have it go off. So that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. A 40 card main deck. The one card that I was thinking about putting in here instead of Carrots, or instead of maybe play 41 card, is the Iperia level 2 monster. It says anytime this card is summoned, or summoned or special summoned, I forget what it was, you draw a card. It gives you additional advantage, things like that. So if once that card comes in, I did order 1 copy, because I really don't think I'm going to play at more than 1. I'm potentially going to play a 41 card build with that, or take a card out, most likely Sprite Carrot, just to see how that works. Just because being able to, of course, having an additional draw just gives you, again, additional, if you draw into a Runick, you're broken, because then that gives you additional draws on your opponent's turn. So overall, I think it's just a really good card. But anyway, that's going to be for the main deck, guys. 40 card main deck. Now let's get right into the extra deck. For the extra deck, guys, we play 1 copy of the Hugin and 1 copy of the Gary. I do want to play a second Hugin. I just do not have one at the moment, but I definitely take out the Gary for it. Just because I think having the ability to summon back Hugin again is super clutch. Anyway, 1 window, 1 app clone. That's going to be it for our fusions, guys. We want to make sure that we are able to have space for all these. Gary, like I said, is less important. I would rather have a Hugin, but you're definitely going to need 4 spaces for your fusion monsters. 3 minimum if you just want to play one of the Runicks, but these are mandatory as well. So with that being said, it cuts down on a lot of the extra that we can do for our typical Sprite plays, but we still don't lose out on any consistency. For the XCs, we play 2 copies of Gigantic Sprite, or Gigantic Sprites, 1 Soul Sweeper, and 1 Gin Buster. So I was trying to figure out 1 XZ's level 2 for going first, and another one for going second, and of course I think these are the best 2 for this. I was trying to find maybe a rank 2 that was a bit more generic and didn't demand specifically 2 darks, because that kind of limits what you can do with the deck. But overall, I think with the amount of extenders you play in the board in the game, you should be able to have an easy enough time with your sprites. and additional extenders as well to be able to go ahead and summon out Djinn Buster pretty early on your board or towards your end board. Regardless, you should still always have the Spright Red in order to protect your board initially. So that's going to be it for the Fusions and Xyzs. For the Links, I'm still on 3 copies of Spright Elf. I really do not want to play this card at any less than 3. I was very, very close to, honestly, just because of the grind game. I don't know how good it will be with this specific build. But with Runics, you are naturally going to have to get into the grind game regardless. So I think that Spright Elf is going to be really, really good for that. And of course, having as many copies as possible so you can constantly keep making it. There's only so much that Runic Slumber can really, really do. Next, we play the Nightmare package, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Cerberus. I'm really tempted to find space for Nightmare Phoenix, but I really can't. The last 2 cards in the extra deck are going to be Dark, and then 1 Pit Knight Early, which is actually going to be a big part of our end board as well. So Pit Knight Early is a really, really cool card. It's really used primarily in like Tri-Brigade Sprite decks, and I understand that, but with this deck, it can make it really, really easily with just 1 additional extender. So I think Pit Knight Early is really, really good, and I want to go ahead and show you guys a quick test hand for you guys. Not test hand, but I want to show you guys a quick combo, I guess. So we'll do Spright Blue, we'll do a Runic Slumber, and then I want to get a Nimble Beaver. Okay, so realistically, you can go clean off with any Runic card in either a Spright Blue or a Spright Jet, but having a Nimble Beaver just all it does gives you an additional. It gives you access to the Pit Knight Early, but it's really, really not necessary. So we're going to go ahead and put this to the side for right now. But I do want to go ahead and show this to you guys. So the first thing you're going to do is activate your Runic Slumber to special summon from the extra deck your Hugin. Right? Activate Hugin effect, search your field spell, yada yada yada. So there's a whole bunch of other things that can go on with this hand. Depending on if you have any other Runic cards, if you have a Runic tip, then that changes the way this would go as well. But I just want to go ahead and show you guys the essential way of what you're going to be doing. You're going to special summon Blue. Blue is then going to, of course, activate Search Jet. Jet is going to then activate to search out the Spright Starter. Normally here you search the Spright Smashers, but I prefer to have Starter in here just to guarantee that I have the Spright Red on field. Right, so you're gonna go ahead and use these 2 guys. You want to make this over here if possible. So let's go ahead and just use the Jet, and it really won't matter. So we're gonna go ahead and go into our Gigantic Spright. Okay, activate Gigantic Spright effect. Catch the Jet to special summon out our Gale Dogra. Gale Dogra is going to go ahead and then activate its effect, pay 3,000 life points to send our El Shaddai Apkallone to the graveyard. Right? Now Apkallone's in the graveyard is actually going to be able to go ahead and search us our 1 copy of Shaddai Schism. Right? So now we have Shaddai Schism on board. So we're going to go ahead and set Shaddai Schism, and we go these 2 into a Spright Elf, activate Spright Elf to bring back the Spright Blue. And the reason you want to do this, or you can bring back Spright Jet, whichever one you want. The reason you do this is to have an additional negation with the Spright Red. And then this is going to be your end board, and this is all without normal summoning, which is crazy to think about, because you summoned out your Runic Hugin, and you special from there. So if you can, or if you want to, what you can do is you normal summon the Bimble Beaver. So you normal summon the Nimble Beaver, special summon Nimble Beaver, and then you go ahead and link these 2 off into a Pit Knight Early, and that way next time when you're activating your Spright Elf to go ahead and search something on your opponent's turn, you're actually going to be negating something as well, and you also then have access to the special summon with Schism, given that you don't clog up your monster zones, so that you can still use Spright Red to negate monster effects, things like that. So overall, I think this board is really menacing, and it can really all just be made except for this with just 1 Runic and 1 Spright. And then if you do happen to have the additional extenders, it gives you access to Pit Knight Early, which, like I said before, is just a really good card overall. So that's actually going to be it for the deck profile, guys, along with the quick combo for you. If you guys want to see further combos, definitely let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll be able to do some like test hands for you guys, so you guys can see exactly how the deck would work, what additional extenders would mean for the deck, or for your for the hand, things like that. So if you get something you guys want to see, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. But I really do like this deck quite a bit. I love the way it plays. Ronin Toad, don't get me wrong, is quite a bit of a loss, but I think playing this version of the deck with the Gale Dogger and the Shaddolls, I think it gives the deck a new identity, an even better anti-meta aspect to it, and I think it just counters the meta just a lot better. I think that it would of course affect decks like Sword Soul. Sword Soul is seeing quite a good resurgence, I should say, in popularity as well. So that's something definitely that you have to look out for as well. I think tier elements with only one special summon, there's only so much that they can really do. So honestly, I think this is gonna be the best version of Spright moving forward, and I am not just saying that. I love the Runick engine. I love what it does for the deck. I love that it gives additional extenders, interruption. This deck just does so much overall. I just can't stop saying good things about it, to be honest. But I'm gonna stop rambling, guys. I know I've kept you guys for far too long here, but thank you guys so much for watching. You've stuck around to the very end. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all are the real MVPs, and I'll see you guys in the next one.